Pilotfish is an international design agency, an innovation consultant. We have offices here in Amsterdam, also in Munich, and a manufacturing and design agency in Taipei, as well as a relatively new office in Berlin. We work in Munich. They do a lot of work for the automotive industry. So with BMW and so forth, and we are currently doing more and more medical projects, working with Bosch, and we work with Honeywell in the US. Well, I originally came to Europe, to London, about 6 years ago, and I worked over there for a little bit as a sort of web and graphic designer first, and then moved to the Netherlands to study industrial design engineering in Delft at the TU, which was 5 years ago now. So then, did a master's there, and more or less started at Pilotfish straight afterwards, and I've been here for the last 2 or more years. Sadly, Australia, as much as I love the place, is not the best place for industrial design work. Generally, the manufacturing industry is not so big and doesn't have the history that it has here, and also, as a result, the industrial design profession maybe does not have the same recognition that it does in Holland. I think Holland is really a world leader, or traditionally has always been a world leader, and particularly the education through the University of Delft was a big factor. Having an English-based master's. There is always a crossover point at which the creatives need to let go of their baby and hand it to the technical people to realise it. And I think the longer you can sort of have that crossover period, and the more communication and cooperation during that period, if you can extend this, the smoother the handover and the less the bottleneck is. I don't know if it's software. I think it is more on a human level that it is important, to be honest. I think from the designer's perspective, having the broadest possible awareness helps a lot. So you do not need to be a mechanical engineer, but if you can speak their language, understand what is important to them, and the factors that they need to stay within, then you can already tailor the original design efforts to fit those. And also that handover, that communication, you can guide the process a bit to make sure that they do understand why things are important from your perspective as well. Often that handover is between our Amsterdam office and our Taipei office, who deal with the manufacturing and the production. So then the tools and the software that are needed for them are more things like Skype and conference systems, and working on files together, being able to share our screens. But the crux of it for me, I think, is that communication. It is needed, but perhaps the reason it is not embraced as much as they would like is because people are not satisfied, and it can take quite a lot of time to transfer all of your working process to one model to find out that it's not what it was sold to you as.
So what are they getting wrong?
I'm not 100% sure on that, to be honest. Sometimes with software, it can be the smallest subtleties that dissuade you. So we also work here as developing software and designing software, and you really see that it is not always just one factor that you can pinpoint, but a whole number of things and how they come together that create that user experience, as you call it. And if one of them is off, it can potentially throw them all.